Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another live edition of Dom Cicale Mafia Roundtable. Hope everybody's having a great day. Oh, wait, 1 second. Great day. And let's see. Okay, good. We're good to go. So, uh, great day, good weekend. I forgot to put in the what was it, going in hardwired direct. So I was on Wi-Fi and I said, oh no, here we go again. So, but we're good to go. Today we're going to go back and forth, but first off, let me say hello to everybody. Francisco, All-Star, Giant Privalone, Shay, Michael, Nicholas, thank you for coming on. All-Star, Dom, no hat, you got it. No hat today. We got that one. Kathleen, hello. Shooting the dice, what's going on? Raphael, Giles, Cynthia, hello, my dear. How are you today? John Haas. Who else do we have? Let's scroll down. Gulf, what's going on? Philly Bob, Timothy O'Reilly, thank you for the contribution as always. People, hit that like button, Timothy Riley says. Hit the like button for Tim. So, Nancy Nicole, how are you? Nancy says, 3 favorite mob bosses. I know who mine are the most popular. Well, you'll hear mine. You'll hear my thoughts. Tessa, hello, how are you? We have Angel Designs. How are you? Good evening. Richie J. Butterfly Kisses. We got some new people here. Brian David. Hello. How are you? B. I'm just going to call you B. What's good? Everything's good. Brian. Hello. Hello, Jamie. How are you? Anna. Hello. Oh, damn. OJ. What's up, OJ? How are you? Christopher. Okay, folks. So, first off, Michael did a show, the top 25. I'm breaking it down in threes, and I'm going over some of his choices as top mob bosses. And I'm going to let you know if I agree, disagree, or agree to disagree with Michael's assessment. But Michael's very much on point. We basically view a lot of things. We have a lot of similarities as far as our views on topics, but there's times that we're not going to have the same view. So I went through his videos, listening to it, and I feel, you know what? Let's go back and forth. Let's see. This way you see my thoughts in the newer generation of the Mafia, my assessment on things, and what I feel was actually could have been the downfall of the Mafia, or which is with today's times, it's just inevitable, just because of all the cameras, all the surveillance photos, everybody cooperating. You don't know who you could trust, who you can't trust, and then everything in the streets are drying up because the government's making them legit. So we'll go into this, and I hope you people enjoy the show tonight. So I would say number one, Brian, thank you for that contribution. People, thank you so much. Really, it's greatly appreciated. I would say number one, Lucky Luciano. I agree with Michael, powerhouse, and basically created the foundation for the Mafia. Took over NYC, New York City's infrastructures, so much so that the government needed Lucky Luciano's assistance while he was incarcerated during World War II. And, you know, Lucky actually stopped. Before Lucky's time, there was boss of bosses, one person, basically the head. Lucky helped put the foundation in for the commission, where all the New York the 5 families would act as a governing board. They would have equal vote, and majority would rule on any law-abiding, in the Mafia, law-abiding decisions. So with that, Lucky helped a lot. He was extremely powerful. He had a visionary, along with his sidekick, Maya Lansky, Bugsy Siegel. They actually created Las Vegas, which is the mega capital of the world for gambling. And it was just a dream, a vision in the desert. So what he created was basically the backbone and infrastructure of organized crime. But during World War II, the U.S. was worried about sabotage on our docks in New York, or with shipping and everything. So Lucky used his mob influence. They reached out to him. He used his mob influence to make sure that would not happen. So nothing would be sabotaged. And with that, he received an early release from his prison sentence. But this government, they always have something on somebody. With that, they deported him back to Italy, where um, he was released, I have, in 1946, and then deported back to Italy. So he died in 1962 in the Naples airport of a heart attack. But he was remembered as both a ruthless mob boss and strategic visionary who shaped the American mafia for decades till this day. So I would have to say Lucky Luciano was definitely a powerhouse. And it's funny because he was born Salvatore Luciana, just like, and it's funny how when people come over to this country, especially the Italian immigrants, my last name was Cicale with an A, but they changed it to an E. They felt Cicale would be better than Cicala. And really, that's weird, folks. It's weird. Everybody did it back then. And it's crazy. It's crazy. But I would definitely have to say Lucky Luciano was the forefather of today's mafia, what was created. So then I have my number two. My number two is Vincent the Chin Gigante. I agree with Michael, a true powerhouse, but the true power behind the Chin and one of Mafia's most respected gangsters was none other than another father figure, dear friend of mine, who I dedicated my book, The Perfect Crime Family, to, Quiet Dom Cirillo. Dom was a powerhouse. I think he was more, in my opinion, he was more respected on the streets. Without that title, he was the man behind the scenes. I think a lot of people in the life, yes, the Chin was very cunning. He was powerhouse. He created the trick for decades, playing a Looney Tune that he was crazy. But I know with me, and I was with the Genovese crime family, I would have to say I lost respect for that, because you know what? You're a mob boss. You know what you are. It's one thing. Like Dom. Dom stood in the shadows. Nobody knew, but he was very well respected, endeared to life totally, so much. You'll find out what happened to his son in due time. And he was well aware of all the moves, all the plays. And it's just, this guy lived and breathed mafia, knew how to stay under the radar, not flashy. And yes, the Chin was the official boss. And like they say, let me just look at my notes. The Chin, somebody took over as official boss when the Chin passed away in jail. That's not true. Back in 2004, the Chin actually stepped down and relinquished the title of official boss to somebody else in the family. And how do I know? I met that person in that capacity of official boss of the family. So at least he was decent enough to know, I'm up in age, I'm incarcerated, let me pass the power on. And that's the way it's supposed to be handled, folks. That's the way it's supposed to be handled. But I tend to disagree with Michael's assessment as far as I frowned upon him playing the crazy man, crazy act, walking in a bathrobe, mumbling. That, to me, okay, that was his plan to evade law enforcement, which he did for many, many years. But you could have also evaded just the way Quiet Dom did for many, many years. Stay under the radar. And you don't have to act like a Looney Tune out there, urinating on the in the curb, on the sidewalks. That's just, to me, that's not boss quality. Or I should say, how are you going to get the respect of men walking around mumbling, playing the crazy Looney Tune in a bathrobe? So, and at the end of the day, he was a man's man. Great boss, though. Good boss. He knew how to run his family, keep everything tight. Um, but that's the only thing I think the blemish he has is by evading law enforcement that way. But there was a lot of other bosses too who evaded law enforcement, staying under the radar. The current Genovese boss is doing the same thing. It's not seen, no photos of him. You don't see him at engagements. He's under the radar. So, but the Genovese, they are a powerhouse. Uh, his bizarre behavior helped him avoid prosecution for years, as we know, mentally unfit to stand trial. But then at the end of the day, it bit him in the butt. So, and he did run his company like a CEO, controlling the unions, construction rackets, and making billions of dollars for the family. I mean, they're a well-oiled machine till this day. Granted, though, with today's members, the Michael hippies, Sal Larka, Ralphie Balsamos of the world, that's garbage. I mean, they brought garbage into the life. In the essence of Michael Hippie's a stone cold junkie, heroin. Ralphie Balsamo walks around like I have a button, which that's everything the Genovese crime family is against. Michael Hippie, everything the Genovese crime family is against. Sal Larker, I would say he's the best out of the three. He's the best out of the three. But when I was out there, hopefully he straightened up his out. He was a stone cold alcoholic, getting drunk, bad, acting like a fool in front of the younger generation. At least, you know what, folks, when I went out, if I really partied heavy, I took it out of the neighborhood. I went to Manhattan where nobody knew who I was. And it was funny. There was just one time I was in Rayo's with Vinny late night and we're drinking. And I caught myself. I turned around after a few drinks. Well, I had more than a few drinks. But I turned around, I said something to him, and I slurred. I was like, I looked at him. I put my hand on my face. I went like this to speak to him. I said, Vinny, I'm so sorry. Like, to me, it's embarrassing. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm fucked up. He started, I'm effed up. Sorry you're using the profanity. I said, I'm so effed up. And he started laughing. He's like, Bo, that's okay. Talk some more. I want to hear you. Like, no. But he laughed. He laughed because that wasn't made to be sloppy or out of place in that sense. So he was a good guy, good mentor, good, really good person, other than what happened with our case and everything. But, at the end of the day, he's a man's man. So I would say, back to the chin. People might consider him, with his insanity, as brilliant, but I don't. You're a mafioso. You're in the life. You know what to expect in the life. So there's ways around it to avoid it. And he didn't have to act the crazy act. He could have just kept on doing what he was doing without acting that way, stay under the radar, just the way Quiet Dom did, just the way the current boss, official boss, is doing now in the Genovese crime family. But by far, and it's funny because the media dubbed him as the odd fellow, the odd father, which to me is embarrassing. But at the end of the day, I would say he still was a powerful man, and he ran a tight ship. but who was really running and pulling the strings was Quiet down behind the scenes, and they came up together. So, and I know that. I know that for a fact. From I had a lot of, remember, folks, I was in the Genovese crime family, so I'm privy to a lot of things behind the scenes with that family. JB, thank you for the contribution. JB says, I feel like the five families could be making money the old way now of just taking money from local businesses to keep the petty criminals and the riffraff away. The only thing they would need to do is provide is muscle. Well, JB, they still can make money. You know what? Just because, okay, the mafia has a lot of names for it. Cosa Nostra, organized crime, um, but it's not illegal to be in the mafia. It's illegal with the criminal acts. They could take it and elevate it to legitimate businesses because there's a lot of connections from unions to carpenters to bricklayers, where if everybody works with one another, it's fine. Everybody makes money. But you have a lot of knuckleheads in their life. They're just buffoons. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to conduct themselves. And they thug everything. So you have guys like Michael the Washwoman Mancuso, who's the boss of the Bananos now. He's shaking down his guys. He's extorting legitimate people. I never did that. Legitimate people, they're off limits. Now, don't get me wrong. I had some issues, or I would say occasions. I had Liberty Concrete. They were around me on the street. So throughout the year, they were under my protection. They tried to go into Staten Island. Gambino stopped them. I went, sat with Mickey Boy Paradiso, and I told them, tell them all their threats, who's ever threatening, who's ever behind it, it's not going to work. They burned one of our trucks, we're burning 10 of theirs. So, Mickey, you can't have all Staten Island. It's not working, and I don't want to hear it. So he agreed with me at the end of the day, long and short of it all. But I stuck up for them, so they were able to go in Staten Island. Somebody owed them $40,000. I sent somebody, they weren't getting paid. Hey, they're with us, they got paid. So in aspects like that, I told them, just look out for me at Christmas time, once a year. Just, do the right thing because I have to kick up as well. And that's what they did. So it wasn't a shakedown. I assisted them. Now, there was companies around me. They never needed any help for anything. So I didn't tax them. I didn't ask them for anything. If they came up to me, hey, Dom, this is for you. Or sometimes they'd come, Dom, could you help me get some work? Yeah, let me say, Dom, I'm having some union problems. Let me look into it. Things like that. So they use us, but at the end of the day, you expect an envelope at Christmas time. It's just gratitude you're showing because you're under our protection. So things like that. But to shake businesses down for restaurants, dry cleaners, butcher shops, bakeries, no, that's not my stick. I would never do that. So, but other people do. So we'll go into the last mafia boss for today. John the Dapper Don Gotti. I agree and disagree with Michael on this one. He did bring the Gambinos to another level, without a doubt, without a doubt. But he did it in a fashion that's taboo and not cool. Killing Paul Castellano. Now, of course, you have Sammy out there justifying it, saying, well, he was sleeping with his maid in his house while his wife is there. Well, Sammy, I hate to tell you, that's none of your business what he does in his household, in his bedroom, or with whom. None of your business at all. And that's not a reason to kill a boss. That was one of the excuses. The main excuse why John Gotti made the move, and I know this too, from being in jail, being incarcerated with people, was the fact, the tapes, the heroin tapes with Angelo Ruggiero, Quack Quack, talking about heroin on his daughter's phone in the bedroom. So John Gotti knew if Paul heard those tapes, which was inevitable because Paul was asking for the tapes, wanted to listen to them, they would all get killed. So you got to give John Gotti props in the way. He was gangster, strapped his cojones on and did what he had to do. And, you know, but it's not the right thing in the mafia. It's not the right thing, but you have to respect it. So it's a give and take. But he did bring that family to a stature where, wow, that's a power move. This is a serious guy, dangerous guy. What I didn't care for with John is his flashiness, his larger than life persona in the public eye, in the media, the flashiness, the stigma. Now, yes, when I was younger, you look up to him. Wow, look at this guy, a mob boss, the way he dresses, the way he acts. Look, he's loud, he's strong, he's powerful. But yet, as you grow older, you learn. You're like, wow, what a stupid mistake he's making. Bringing the limelight, the light on him, shining on him like he's a celebrity. Nobody in the mafia is a celebrity. That's for sure. B, thank you for the contribution. Where would you rank John Riggy? I'll get to that in a minute. I would rank John Riggy. Let me get back to that one. So with John Gotti, yes, he did bring that family to another level, but that was through something, it was a power move. Very extremely charismatic, loud in every sense of the word, from dress to vocally. And addressing the issue down to his appearance. He wanted the world to know, I'm John Gotti, the Dapper Don, Gambino mob boss. And he did. Held court at the Ravenite in Little Italy in New York. And again, to me, that's another bonehead move. You have everybody and their mother going there, paying the respects. You have Sammy walking around as umbrella man for him, carrying his umbrella, walking around. And you don't think the FBI has surveillance there? They knew it. They're taking photos. And so you're exposing everybody. You're bringing all your guys there and they're making their jobs easier. The mafia is supposed to be underground. It's supposed to be quiet, a secret society, not a society out in the tabloids. So I think with the public, he was larger than life, like a celebrity. To law enforcement, he was reckless. His ego brought down the Gambino family, the secret way, the old school, the secrecy of the mafia. He was both admired and criticized for his boldness. And yes, he was admired by a lot of people, even in the mob. But he was also criticized by a lot of people on his actions and what he did. And then his downfall was Sammy Gravano when he ratted. And to me, folks, I say it even with myself, there's no excuse. But, other people are different. They can't admit that they just took the coward way out. And to me, there is no excuse. You have a run, your run's over. But he didn't want to do the time, so he told on John Gotti. Now, we're going to wrap this up, and then I'll answer questions. But John Riggy. I was away with John Riggy in Cumberland, Maryland. Hell of a guy, really, really nice guy. And we're going to be doing maybe once a week. I'm going to depict from Michael's video. Check it out. Michael has the top 25, which he mentions Joe Massino, Vinny Basciano. So we're going to be lumping them. I'm going to do them in sections of threes. I'm going to pick them out, and I don't know if he did John Riggy, but I'll definitely put Riggy in there because I was with the guy. I met him. We spoke on the street, and you would never believe it. He was a heavy-set guy, overweight. In jail, he was like this, walking nonstop. I mean, he was a walking machine on that track. At least 15 to 20 miles a day, walking nonstop, morning, noon, and night, just a machine. So I hope I answered you, B, on that one, but we'll get back to that as well. Now, what I did was something different. The Chin versus the Don. Now, You have the Chin, ran the Genovese crime family like a shadow government, underground, the way the mafia is supposed to be ran. Low profile, secretive, calculating. Preferred to operate through buffers, which till this day the Genovese still do that, especially the boss. Very few ever even met him directly. That's the way you run a family. That's the way you survive. Controlled massive rackets quietly, without drawing headlines. Now that's true mafioso. True mafioso. Now you have John Gotti, ran the Gambino crime family like a celebrity brand. I'm here. I'm John Gotti. Take your pictures. Have my hair done, nails. And like I said, as a kid, you like that. You idolize that. Wow, look at this mob boss. But when you get into life, you realize that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Flashy, charismatic, loved the spotlight. Held court in the Little Italy, the Raven Knight, surrounded by admirers. Yeah, FBI too. FBI doing the surveillance. And the style of attention, his swag, and being so flamboyant, it had the media's attention, the public's attention, and law enforcement, the FBI. So that's the two contrasts. Now we have the Chin. We'll go back to him, the public image. The Odd Father. Shuffled through Greenwich Village in a bathrobe, slippers, muttering to himself, urinating on the sidewalk, and just stumbling like he couldn't walk. He needed to be held up with a cap on his head. Convinced the world he was insane, avoiding prison for years. And that's true, folks. That's true. But in the same token, like I said prior, to me, looking at it, and I was there in that family, I look at it as not a good play because he would have stayed under the radar. I think he drew more attention to the public, to media, walking around in the bathrobe, doing those acts in the gutter. So that's where I think he drew a lot of attention. That they said he's crazy, he's out of his mind. How could he run the family? But you see him huddled with somebody, walking, carrying him. So, that's how his messages were passed. And I didn't agree with that. Now, for Gotti, tailored suits, silk ties, expensive coats, tabloids loved him. Loved him. Media loved him. Ate it up. Public loved him. Larger than life persona. He graced the front pages like a movie star. Called the Teflon Don also, after beating multiple trials in the 80s. And you know what? He did have that charismatic image about him. So, relationship with law enforcement. We have the Chin, outsmarted the FBI with the insanity for decades. Well, he didn't have to outsmart them with insanity. All he had to do was stay undercover with the buffers, and he would have been just fine too, I feel, in my opinion. Rarely caught on tape because he barely spoke to anyone directly. Well, there's a lot of people who are like that too. You have Quiet Dom, you don't hear tapes. You have other people in the Genovese organization, you don't hear them on tapes. I was never on a tape recording. Believe it or not, I was never on a tape recording. Vinny Basciano met Big Lou Taglione. He was tape recorded. We knew that. We knew he was meeting an informant. I did counter surveillance. I paged Vinny. Within 5 minutes, he was there with Big Lou. He's a rat. 911 meant hot. He's on fire. Vinny knew that, but Vinny kept on talking. Didn't talk anything illegal, but he did say, Dominick's my acting captain. Government they weren't even aware I was straightened out at that point. So, and Vinny apologized profusely to me regarding that. Like, Bo, I'm so sorry. I said, that's all right. No big deal. But media, boom, I'm a captain in the family. So, that was a thing. But other than that, and then Joe Messino tape. Those are the only two tapes Vinny's on. That's it. I mean, always cautious. So finally, after years of playing crazy boss, he was convicted, took a plea, and he went to jail. So, and then you have John Gotti, constantly taunted law enforcement, by living in the spotlight. And you know what, folks? The government's going to get their pound of flesh. One way or another, they're going to get it. You're not going to taunt them without a doubt. Because from doing a job that's only business, it becomes personal. They take it personal when you keep on throwing mud in their face. John Gotti, after he beat his last trial, should have went underground. Should have learned. But you know what? His charismatic attitude, his persona, his ego got the best of him, and that was his downfall. His ego, I think. But you gotta give it to him. He was ruthless. He did what he had to do to get that position. FBI bugged the Ravenite, caught him discussing. Actually, they bugged upstairs in the apartment, and he was convicted. So the legacy, the Chin, master of deception, remembered as the last great ghost of a boss. His strategy kept the Genovese crime family strong, even after his conviction, even after when he was jailed, he gave the power over. They anointed another official boss of that family. And that's the way it's supposed to be, folks. That's the way it's supposed to be. He knew, listen, he's up in age. I can't run this from prison the way it should be ran. Let me give the power over. He had a quadrillion dollars. He didn't need the money. Always had the respect anyway. Even if he got out, that he lived, he's still going to have the respect. So he's going to be probably an advisor to the current official boss. And they would still move on through the circles. But at that point, at 80, 90 years old, you don't want to go back to jail. You don't want that. You want to die in your own bed, just the way Quiet Dom did in the Bronx. And we'll go to John Gotti. He will always be remembered as the Mafia's folk hero, without a doubt. His ego and love of attention ultimately destroyed him. And it did weaken the Gambinos tremendously. It shined so much light on them that, it hurt them in a lot of ways because of all the people meeting at the Ravenite, all the captains, acting captains, all the soldiers, everybody who went there who's in organized crime, even associates, made it easy for law enforcement, put a target on their back. So, but he will definitely be remembered as a folk hero, a man's man. And he showed that. He showed that to the world. So we'll sum it up. Most influential in history, you have to go with Lucky Luciano. For the government to ask him to shore up our docks, because we had the docks, the Longshoremen's Union, still till this day. By him doing that, basically shows the power, the influence, created Las Vegas, folks. You can't, come on. The Mafia created so many different things that are now legitimate today that this government has taken and made legitimate because they were money makers. You have to give Lucky Luciano the most influential mobster in history. The most powerful and long-term has to go to Carlos Gambino. Yes, he was a boss for about 15 years, but he brought that family to the level where by the time John Gotti had it, it was already a powerful crime family, and it got even more powerful in John's time. But at the same time, John destroyed it by bringing everybody to that Ravenite, showboating in the streets. Yes, the public loved it. I loved it as a kid, looking, wow, look at this, wow. But at the end of the day, it only hurt that family tremendously. The most iconic, publicly, John Gotti, by far. Now, the most feared, we have Albert Anastasia. Lord High Executioner was his nickname. Treacherous mafia boss, and one of the most feared and violent bosses in history. More so than Vic and Gaspipe, and they were up there. But Albert Anastasia was basically a Mad Hatter. So they actually nicknamed him Lord High Executioner. Smart and saver, I would have to say Tony Big Tuna Accato. And I'll go into it in later shows. Guy ran his family tight, really never went to jail, long period of time. I think he had got a slap on the wrist, but he ran the family for 40 plus years and made tons of money. And he was violent too, extremely violent. And he had the nickname Joe Batters, ruled the outfit quietly for decades. He was actually the longest surviving boss. He died wealthy and free in his own home. And that's one, folks, not too many people could say. So I would say that wraps it up for tonight with that. We'll answer questions, go back and forth. I'll see if I missed anybody's contributions, and then we'll go from there. People, could you please do me a favor? The button, hit the like button. Don't worry. Nobody's going to yell at you. You're not going to get in trouble. You're not going to, if you don't hit it, you're going to be put on a hit list. How you like that one? Let's see. Fan funding. Did we miss anybody? No. Okay, good. We got everybody in. But I want to thank everybody again. Really, David, thank you for that contribution. Really nice of you. Appreciate it. And also everybody else who contributed. B, JB, and my man. Let me see. Where are you? And Timothy O'Reilly. Thank you again. Okay, let's go to live chat. Let's see what we have. What's up, Up? How are you? When's the pizzeria coming? I'm going to make a special trip down to Port St. Lucie. It's coming soon. I spoke with one of the partners, Benny. We have to do a whole brand marketing. So once we get that in line, we'll announce it when it's coming out. We have to change the theme inside the pizzeria. So there's going to be some construction work being done. We're going to set some, just make it for OCM Pizza. We have to make it known what it is, what we're doing. So it's coming. It's coming. Okay. Jamie Cicale. Well, of course. Just like a lot of programs in counseling, rehab, and even education, we created by inmates, not the government. So, of course, the Mafia took, they took Mafia ideas too. Listen, the Mafia is powerful, was powerful, still can be, but, you have to put that substance back into that life. Who else we have? Shooting the Dice. Hey, Dom. If your past life was turned into a movie, who would play you? A handsome Englishman, maybe? I would love to play myself. I would definitely love to play myself. I think, listen, I always look. I always have that mindset. I could do anything I want in life. Anything. So, I would love to play myself. But if I had to pick, I would probably say maybe Ben Affleck. I would think. I'd say Ben Affleck if I had to pick. Lee Montoya. Love the show, Big Dom. Watching from Utah. Like always, thanks for your time. Thank you, Lee. No, thank you for your time, for coming on, viewing. And thank you. It's greatly appreciated. Brooklyn Ice. Dom. I heard Hootie ran a crew of food thieves. Can you confirm? Here he hid the evidence. I don't know what he ran, what he didn't run. I didn't know him out there. Things I did hear weren't nice, so I'm not even going to mention it. I can mention it face-to-face with him. So once he does come back down to Miami, I'm going to make a trip down there, and we'll do a face-to-face. So we'll see. All-Star says, wait till the Sicilian Mafia use that new bridge they are building on Italy. They're going to make record amounts of money. Mafia always makes money. Always. One way or another, folks. One way or another. Cynthia says, Dom, you don't consult me on the theme of OCM Pizza. You didn't. You don't consult me on the theme of OCM Pizza. Cynthia, one day at a time. One brick at a time. We're getting there. We're getting there. So, Big Dom, Joe Bonanno is the longest sitting boss in the Mafia ever. He ran the family from 31 to 1986, almost 40 years. If that doesn't make him the GOAT, I don't know what does. But he tarnished himself. He tarnished himself with the book, going out there, exposing the life. To me, that's like Joe Messino. And you know what? I'll save that. We'll save that for my next three. My next three. Cornbread. Tony Accardo ran the family with minimum of Italian members. The outfit was very successful with multiple races and associates. Absolutely 10,000%. Yes, he did. Tom Hardy. Oh, where'd you go? You skipped on me. SP. Tom Hardy would be. Oh, SP says Tom Hardy would be a great you, Dom. Okay, I don't know who Tom Hardy is, so I'll look it up after this. John Ramsey, Joe Batter's great grandchildren played in Nick and Joe. Okay. Frankie, what is your favorite cartoon? Love the show, like the Franzese show. My favorite cartoon, I would have to say, was I'd say Bugs Bunny. That was my favorite, one of my favorite shows, without a doubt. Cartoons. Brooklyn Ice, what's up, Tony D? Marco, who's the worst mob boss? Who's the worst, I would have to say? Michael Washwoman Mancuso, by far, 10,000%. The dumbest, the just no class, no coot, just a buffoon. A buffoon. He makes buffoons look good. That's how bad he is. So, Cynthia says, William, I heard Hootie ate the entire. Okay. Dicky says, Big Dom, buongiorno, bello. Do you ever sip EG and reminisce about the times you and Vinny? I always think about Vinny periodically, always, or periodically. I think about him. I wish him well. I hope he does get out one day. Definitely, without a doubt. ZG, Dom, what businesses do you have currently? I still do construction work. I have a lot of different things I'm doing. It's just a lot. It's a gamut. But my primary is construction. Is in construction. I'll do rehabs of houses if people need houses demoed, new kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms, just a total gut job, and then we build. We're getting ready to do homes in the Winter Park area of Florida, so we have that. But I have a lot of different things I do. That's one of them. Big Arms, Big Dom. When will the next Bronx video hit? Ah, you like that one. We'll see. We'll see. We're working on something major right now. So once that comes out, you'll know. Cornbread, thank you for the contribution. Nancy Nicole, Dom, do you think Michael Franzese, boss? Do you think Michael Franzese boss, Joe Colombo, is up there among the bosses? Absolutely. I think so. I think so. We'll talk about that. Katie, hi Dom, grew up in Throg's Neck, Clarence Avenue, next to the Beach Club. I know where it is. Love listening to your Bronx stories. Brings me back to the neighborhood. Too bad it's changing for the worst. It absolutely is, but Country Club still looks nice. New houses being built. Throg's Neck also, Locust Point. I was through the whole neighborhood. The neighborhoods are really nice. It's just going to the main strips like Throg's Neck. You're going down Tremont Avenue. All the storefronts changed. It's a mess. The surrounding, but the neighborhoods still look good. Still look tight. But no kids. So that's where I think the downfall is. No kids are out there. Kathleen, Love D. Martin, King of Cool. Okay. Jamie Cicale. I'm going to say Cicala. I'm going to say Cicale. It's easy. Random. Did your Uncle Peter have a brother named John? No, my Uncle Peter had a brother named Dominick, my father. So it was Dominick. Peter was the oldest, Dominick, and then Nancy, my Aunt Nancy. That was 3. But the Cicale family, there was 5 brothers that came over from Italy. So big family. I have relatives I never even met before. So Rock Solid says, glad you're out of the life. You're not making as much dough, but at least it's less stress. You're proving you can do it without the life. I love my new life, what we created, even official Crypto Nostra. We're always doing positive things. And it's not about the money. It's just about where the life was going. And I would have been a poster child for that life as far as in and out of jail. Because what's going on in the streets today, I would not have accepted it. I wouldn't have tolerated it. And I would have been killing people. And for what? To pave the way for guys like Michael the Nose? No. Where they have no loyalty, they have no respect, they don't know what they're doing. So to me, the life is in shambles. I don't think they'll ever get that substance back, just due to the fact there's no more communities, and too much social media. So it is definitely a dying breed, folks, without a doubt. Jim G, thank you for the contribution. Appreciate it. OCN is dropping past 3 weeks. Why? People are taking out profits. They're moving money around, which is good. It's their option. But we're about to bring on some top influences in the crypto space. So once we have the shopping cart, will be out this week, along with the website and the gaming app. So that should enhance the coin as well. We got stalled because things weren't up to my standards. You could go to official Crypto Nostra. You'll see a website. Looks pretty good. You'll see a shopping cart. Is okay. Wasn't acceptable for me. So I had a whole new website built, shopping cart created to enhance it, to be more professional. So we basically stopped advertising it. So that hurt us too. But you know what? We showed stability in this last month and a half. So, which is great. We got delayed with the gaming app. They came out with the first game. I didn't like it. It wasn't the way I anticipated it. This is a game, folks. It's not what you think like an Atari or a Pac-Man game. It's just a simple game. If you're on a plane, you're sitting down, you play it, you push buttons, it moves things, get different levels. You're advancing to the next level, but you're earning coins. You're mining the coins. So this will all bring more value to the coin, so we should see a spike. Also, I didn't forget the Dubai money. We're still waiting on the UK. Like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I never count on anything until it hits my account. We did sign the letter of intent, but first, the UK people have to be funded. Once they're funded, they're my friends. They said, Dom, we're going to advance you some money towards the money you're getting. So once they're funded, that'll come in. So it won't be another 60 days after that. We'll have some 7 figures coming in. So that'll work itself out. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We have other avenues, other people looking to come on board. I don't sleep. I don't rest. So, and I don't look at one source and count on it. I never count on anything till it's done, till it's completed. There and the bargain. So, folks, I just let everybody know. Here's what we have going on. Just like I let everybody know, we're coming out with OCN Gambling. We have a gambling site. So there's going to be a lot of different things. We're going back and forth with it. But hopefully work will be starting on that probably on Thursday or Friday of this coming week. So, and then I'll give everybody a timetable when we think the gambling site will be up on our website. So there'll be a tab, OCN Gambling, and you click on it. You put coins in, and you could gamble away. So right now we'll probably come out with 1 or 2 games just to get it out there. And stay tuned. This is gonna be fun. This I'm gonna like creating. So we have a lot. We have a lot coming out. Joe, thank you for the contribution. Great video, Paisan. God bless. Thank you too. Thank you too, Joe. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, we got everybody in here. Just give me a second, folks. Get the tabs, go back to the live chat. Okay. Sam the Man says OCM will hit $1.50 with the 18-month people. Listen, look at Bitcoin where it started. It started at nothing, zero, was not worth anything. Their first purchase was a pizza, and it was at 0.004. Around where we're at. And look where it's come to. That's why I say, people, it took what, 15, 20 years for it to get to where it's at? Not saying this is the next Bitcoin. However, if we get a nice run, 5, 10, 15, $20 investment right now. $20 investment could be millions, in 10 years from now. And if it doesn't go, what do you lose? $20? It's a pack of cigarettes, folks, in New York. Pack of cigarettes might even be more money. So I don't ask anybody to, and we're still putting in a lot of the money into this. I'm still building out the company. So folks, just bear with us. We've come a long way. Even right now with the stock, the coin that it dropped in price, it's under half a cent. You're still up sevenfold. Sevenfold. There's some people, and I just had the conversation with somebody. They put a lot of money in. You went from one level to another level. So granted, we were up a lot higher. It's come down, but everybody who came in at the beginning still up tremendously. But you know what? It's good because all the people that are getting out, it'll set new levels, new benchmarks when more people come in. So I feel comfortable. We're at a great position. Thank you. Couldn't do it without all you followers holding that coin, believing in me. And that means a lot to me, folks. That really does. I'm here every night, sun, rain, or shine. And that, anyway, sun or shine, or sun or shine, rain or shine. Okay. And we're just here to build and grow. And I think somebody shut my AC down here. Let's see. Oh, nope. Okay, it's just hot outside. So let's see. Let's answer some more. Nicholas, Dom, what are some lessons you learned in Cosa Nostra that you apply today in life? Good question, Nicholas. Getting up early, doing my thing, being dedicated to whatever I do, giving it 110% no matter what, and following through with everything. And being smart, visionary, seeing 10, 20 paces ahead, looking, continue to grow, to build. And no matter how many times I fail, I pick myself up. Keep on going, keep on moving forward. That's what I've learned. So CJ says, will the gambling site have sportsbook OCN? You know what? I didn't even think about that, CJ. Probably so. Probably so. We'll integrate that. But I'm not a sports book, so we're gonna have to get somebody who knows sports to run it, to put it in live action, and you have to swap out coins. So we'll have terms and conditions of everything. And yes. So to answer your question, yes. Dom, now that you're no longer in the life, don't you think it would be appropriate to rebrand Three Capo Cigars? That's a little tasteless. No. All due respect, I wasn't in the life. No, I think, and good question. Thank you for that. And I know I'm okay with questions like that. No, I think Three Capos is a good swing. It's a swagger thing. Oh yes, I'm not in the life, but Three Capos. I like it. It's catchy, like Brandon. Um, just like with the gelato that should be, I was told October, November, it should be on store shelves. They have, I think it's called Don Gelato, Dom Cicale. So, Mafia Roundtable, I think it's Mafia Roundtable, the whole name. Eric, if you're on, please let me know. Eric hooked me up, plugged me into that contractual agreement. But no, I like it. I like it. They did a whole analysis take on it, and it fits. People like it. So I like the Three Capos. I like that name. So Ramsey, Mr. Cicale told us to ask him questions. I asked him one. What are you talking about, Ramsey? What happened? Did somebody jump on you? Let me see. Ramsey. No, Ramsey, it's okay. Listen, folks, I'm okay with questions like that. Ramsey, I respect that. So don't get upset with the people because some people, they feel it's being disrespectful. I'm okay. I'm okay with questions like that. And it was a good question. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. What do we have? Leo Donahue. Dom, I noticed Sammy, the spoofer, has torn down a lot of his content and is a lot more civilized on air since you told him he needed to clean house. Well, I'm glad for him. I'm glad for him. I don't care for the guy. But you know what? I would never begrudge somebody from making money, doing the right thing on social media. I just don't like when people embellish and they fabricate stories just to make themselves look important. So, and I will call anybody out if I see that. JB said should say Three Amigos. Three Amigos is already out there though, so that's the difference. Oh, where are you? I just saw you. 1 minute. Let's go down. Ramsey. Oh, okay. See, that's why I asked. It isn't in reference to the Three Capo Bonanos homicide confident. No, 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 no. It wasn't. That it wasn't. Had no intentions for that whatsoever, whatsoever. But good question. I like it. Brian says Sammy the Fool. Well, I agree with that. So big arms. Robbie, they still using the Bonanno name to this day. Okay. War says, what up, Sam the man? Nicholas, Dom, if you can give only one piece of advice to your subscribers and the world, what would that be? People, let's start showing more respect, love, caring to our kids. Let's start teaching them. Let's start at dinner time for them to put their phones down, not using their cell phones, not being on social media, engaging, a little chitter chatter back and forth. It's only a half hour, 45 minutes at a dinner table. Sometimes it could be an hour, hour and a half. But let's start getting the kids out into the streets, playing with their friends, going out, taking their phones from them when they go out in the streets. Guys, you have to go out for 2 hours. Send them out. Send them out in the street. The communities, the neighborhoods have to get back together. Everybody initiate that. We have to be more interactive with our children. They're our future. Being on social media 24/7 is not good. It's not good. They need more interaction, more socializing one-on-one. That would be my advice. And people, let's work with one another. Instead of hating, use that because that's negativity. When you hate on somebody with business ventures, what are you doing? With me, when they hate, it only fuels me to keep on going, keep on proceeding. But what you should do, whatever you feel is negative about it, why don't you tell the person, try to work with them, try to get on board, better yourself, educate yourself. You know, use that energy for positive focus. That's my Confucius's thoughts of today. I noticed Hootie and Gene giving hell to Joey Molino and Joey's cream pie thing with his wife. New Jersey Jets situation. No good. What's your thoughts, Dom? Well, that's their business. Okay. I wouldn't like it done to myself. So, you know, that's their battle. They're grown men. I don't agree with Joey does, calling everybody effing liars, effing rats constantly. He's a mobster. You don't have to come on social media and say that. But he does. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with what they're doing, bringing in his wife. But again, I don't agree. I'm not part of it. But that's their battle. They're going back and forth. Sometimes, folks, a lot of things are said that sometimes small words might be deep cuts, deep wounds to somebody. So, they're just going nonstop. They're going hard. Just like my thoughts, my theory. Somebody comes at me, I'm going 10 times harder. Well, that's what Gene's doing. He's going 10 times harder. So, just everybody conducts themselves differently. And I just step back, listen, watch, and that's it. But that's their business, not mine. Ramsey, I saw you. Hootie and Gina getting high and barking up the wrong damn tree. Well, I think it works both ways. So we'll see at the end of the day. So that's all I could say. Canada's dark, haunted history. Dom, do you think or believe Joe Bonanno ruined his reputation, the life, the legacy, and the family when he wrote the book? Absolutely, 10,000%. Definitely, without a doubt. I'll tell you one thing, folks. If Vinny Basciano was running the family back then, Vinny would have had him killed. We would have definitely went out there and killed him. He would have made a point with that, without a doubt. Without a doubt. ZG. Dom, did you see the video of the Spanish dude saying most mob guys were getting punked by gang members except the Sicilian Bonanos from the Bronx on the Gorgeous? No, I did not see him. So somebody could send me the link. I'll watch it. But there's a lot of mobsters that get punked in jail. All the time it happens. But it depends who's at the prisons too. I know when I was out of prison, nobody would mess with an Italian. And if they did, we dealt with it. And that's it. So one thing, the Italians do stick together. But you have a lot of them, I would say at least 90% are soft. They're soft. Only on the street they're tough. But it is what it is at the end of the day, folks. Ride the Monster. I know Lucky Luciano and the others created the commission, but who started the life? The life was started in Sicily. Who actually formed it? I don't know. I'm not a mob historian, but I know it was created in Sicily when the farmers we were invaded, and their women and children were being raped at night by generals and soldiers. Finally, the farmers got together and said, we're going to fix them. And one morning when the soldiers woke up, they found some of their members, their friends, decapitated, dead. And that's how basically the Mafia started. It was a secret society. It was created to protect its own from outside corrupt forces in Sicily. So that's the origin of it. Folks, we're going to start wrapping it up. We're over an hour. Wish everybody the best. Hope everybody loved it. Again, thank you so much for the contributions. It's greatly appreciated tonight. Arturo says, last one, Gene would disappear if he did that. Gigati's wife. Well, listen, I'm not going to go into all that. Everybody have a great night. Sam the Man, Philly Bob, Cynthia, John Haas, Timothy O'Reilly, Ramsey. Hope everybody has a great day. Canada, dark, haunted history. Good night. Robbie, 818, Nancy Nicole, good night. War, good night. Star Blue, good night. Peace. Francisco, good night. Joe, good night. CJ, good night. People, OCN, go to OCN. Don't forget, check out theperfectcrimefamily.com. Go there, order the books today. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. And people, books will be going out this week. The limited edition. Go to Franzese Wines. Put in Dom 15. You got 15% off the wine. Excellent wine for the price. Great wine. And if you order 4 bottles or more, it's only $1. Go there, support it. Great guy, Michael. You might see more content with Michael and myself. One never knows. So Francisco R. Cole, have a good night. And don't forget, OCN. Pick it up now. Official Crypto Nostra. Go buy some today. $5, $10, $15. That's all you need. That's all you need. Keep it away. Keep it stashed. And 10 years from now, that $5 or $10 might be worth a few $1 million, maybe even more. People, much love and respect. See everybody tomorrow night, live at 5. Peace out.